Coach Martin.
Coach, coming off the grueling road trip and looking at the stats for these next two Southern Cal teams coming up, it's a pretty mirror image of you guys versus them. And nothing really stands out. If they do better than we do better than they do.
No, I think they're just a little bit better off the dribble. They just have probably a little bit more depth than we do. But yeah, I think very similar. We're both really aggressive. They're a little bit more athletic, I think, both teams. But I think it's going to be a really good game, and it's a great chance for us back at home, especially after three really, really tough games.
So TT's back, and
thank goodness.
And when anytime somebody on your team goes out, it's tough because everybody plays a role. But it seemed like with TT, it may have been a little bit tougher.
With TT gone, it was really a really big loss because of a couple reasons. Not only because of basketball, but because of her leadership. She was still on the bench with us, but it's different. Her in the locker room, her in pregame warm-ups, all of those things, because she's an upperclassman and she's so mature. So she's able, if someone's joking around, she's like, hey, cut it out. She's kind of like the mama bear. So we missed that. And then defensively, she's our stopper off the bench, no doubt. She's one of our best on-ball defenders on the team. So without her, it's very different because when she comes in the game, we change the rhythm. So we didn't have that. And then we only had youth. So, Bryce is a freshman. Lindsay doesn't have a lot of experience, so we didn't really have another experienced guard coming off the bench. Destiny normally plays the post, not the guard. So very different, and missed her a lot. I think just a lot better chance to win games, especially on the road with her. So I'm glad she's back.
What did you think of the way Kate played in Oregon? That was one of the biggest bright spots in that trip.
Yeah, no, I think she played really well. I think she wasn't intimidated. She played with confidence. She was really aggressive. I just think as a team we played really bad. But yeah, Kate fought. She fought for rebounds. I think she got better since the Utah trip because everybody's asking, how's she going to be? She's having a tough time. She's a freshman. She's not going to be consistent. That's not what freshmen do. But she sticks in there. She hangs in there. She may have one bad game, but then she comes back and she fights. And I think that everything that she does, it's not correlated. It's not tied to scoring. Sometimes she rebounds. I told her, even if you have an off night and you're 0 for 8, if you're setting great screens, being a communicator, being a great teammate, you're also valuable in different ways. So just trying to get her to learn that as a freshman, and you don't understand that as a freshman. But someone else who understands that is TT and Dominique, because Dominique sometimes will have 6, 7 points, but she makes our offense flow. She plays some killer defense. So those things are important, and they help a team win.
She has a game where maybe she has like 10 rebounds but only like 4, 5, 6 points. Do you have to go up to her and be like, oh, you actually don't look at the score column, like you played okay?
No, I go to her and I say, you played really good. And she may look like, huh? But I'm like, yeah, it's not all about scoring. You played a good game. You had 10 rebounds. That helps your team win. So what you have to teach a young player is it's not all about scoring. So if you set 5 great screens that get your teammates shots, that's just like scoring 10 points at least. And if you get 10 rebounds that are really important rebounds, that's also helps us win games. And if you're like not making shots, but you're being really positive, encouraging your teammates and being a great communicator, sometimes that's more valuable than having 20 points.
How do you see her down the line, like her career path? Like, how do you think it's going to go? I mean, obviously she still has 3 more years, but when she's all said and done, what do you kind of expect to see?
I think she'll break a lot of records. I think she has a great chance. I think her and Edwards from Utah have a good chance of being freshman of the year, which is a big accomplishment. To even just be all freshman or freshman of the year, it's huge. I think that she needs to continue to evolve and get better. There are a lot of parts of the game she has to improve on, but the thing is she wants to get better. So I think you're going to see a more versatile player in a couple of years. I think you'll see a player that can go right or left. Right now she's really comfortable going right. She can go left, but it's a confidence thing, but you have to work. I think that she'll later on be able to shoot the 3 if people sag off her because she can shoot it, but a lot of teams aren't playing her for that. So I think later on you'll see her consistently shoot that. So I think you'll see her improve because she wants to be good and she cares. It matters to her, and she's coachable, so she's gonna get better. So I think that she can be an all Pac-12 player. I think she can be a huge impact player, and I think she can break a lot of records here.
You've talked before about how freshmen sort of go up and down. Mm-hmm. She's had 2 really good games. Do you think, the last 2 games, do you think that part of that is just getting those games under her belt playing the Christina Niguez, playing the Alana Smiths, and seeing, wow, I can do this, I can't do that, or now I got to listen to coach a little bit more, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think just learning. So I think that the Stanford game taught her that Alana Smith, she doesn't look as athletic as Christina Niguez, but she's really smart. So she probably is not nearly as athletic, but she's smart, she's in the right place, and she's a really good player. So I think as a freshman, you learn, like, it's not all about what the eye sees, it's players can play. You may look at someone like Taya Corsdale at Oregon State and say, what does she do? But then she's 5 for 5 from the 3. So they're different. I think Megan Huff, she's improved tremendously this year. So I think Kate going against those players, and they're all different. Some are more versatile, some are just inside, some run the floor really well, some rebound like monsters. I think that playing those and getting that experience, it's valuable. Because then she kind of knows what to expect. I think until then, you don't know what to expect, because it's not like high school. Even though she's played McDonald's All-American games and stuff, it's different. It's a notch up here. So I think also learning that game in and game out, it is a battle. So it's not like we have an easy game or a game we should win where you're just going to get 20 points just because. You have to work for everything, and you have to work in different ways and smarter, and I think she's going to learn that you have to go by people. I think she's going to learn that you can't only go right because they know you're not going to go left. Like those things, which she's getting better at, and I think she's improving. She still has to get a lot stronger. I think getting a lot stronger as a team will help us rebound better because we're not able to hold our ground. Sometimes we get thrown around like rag dolls. So I think that those things, but all of those things, once you've been through it, and you see and you aspire to be like those players, like I'm sure she wants to be All-American. Christina Niguez is going to be a top pick. So when you see what it was like playing against them, I think you're more motivated to work. So hopefully that brings that for her.
Coach, going through that grueling stretch and at this point of the season, how would you grade the team according to your expectations?
I think, well, I didn't expect that losing by 27, I think it was at Oregon, and 23 points, I think, at Oregon State. That's not what I expected because I thought we played really bad. It wasn't that they are a very good team. They did things that made us work and exploited some of our weaknesses. But I think I was disappointed on our organization on defense and stuff because there are rules we have. And when things got hard, we couldn't stick to those rules. And so that was the disappointing thing. We have to get a lot better. And I think I don't think that our defense was that bad to allow them to score, allow teams to score 90 points. But if we were looking on film, if we play like that, I'm surprised we didn't give up 120. So those are some of the top teams in the country that aren't only talented teams, but they're coached extremely well. So you make a mistake, they make you pay because they know how to play basketball. So I think that as far as we took a step back on that week or week and a half, just with some of our rules, so we're working on it. So my job is to now get us back to the basics, and regardless of who we're playing against, we're consistent in what we do. So if I call a trap, we need to trap. Not just trap sometimes, because if 2 people are doing it, 3 people aren't, it doesn't work. And so I think a lot of that, it showed. One of the things it also showed is when teams are kind of, when we get shell-shocked and we get down, let's say 0-20, which hopefully won't happen again ever, you are on your heels, so how do you respond? Do you kind of go and try to just take 4 shots, which that's how we respond now, or do you kind of grind it out? Okay, get together, we got to get some stops. I mean, I think we're not there yet, and that's why I say we're not there as a program. We're not at that level yet because we can't do those things. If you watch Oregon State, they play with a tremendous amount of poise. They can have 7 seconds on a shot clock. It's extra pass, shot. We don't have that yet. So we are pressed and we go really fast a lot. We don't read the game yet. So I think the process of me teaching them how to read the game, it will take longer. But it's more important, and we'll play better basketball later. So that's my job, and that's how we're going to play. So we have to learn and improve. And we're not shooting the ball well, so I'm just incorporating a lot of shooting in practice because we don't have the program yet where they're going to go out and shoot 100 shots on their own. We have a couple people that do it, and Bryce is one of them. But as a team, it's not our culture yet. And it will be, but it's not yet, and that's why we're not at the level of the Oregon States and the Oregons and the Stanfords yet.
What does Tara bring to the scout team that is kind of like a breath of fresh air?
Well, she's athletic. She has some bounce in her step. She can shoot it from deep range. She has good size, and I think just someone that she can run plays. Sometimes I think boys can't run plays. Sometimes practice players no, but our practice players are awesome. They do a really good job. But I think sometimes if you haven't played a lot of organized basketball, which some of them haven't, you don't know what a horn set is or a middle on ball. You don't know what a roll and rise is. So sometimes we're like, ah. That's why I like coaching women anyways, but women actually listen. But I think that our practice players are great, but she brings just another level, and she's a player that's going to be playing with us next year. So I think for her, it's getting back in shape and kind of learning the system, like on the fly. And she's a great kid, great attitude. She's here all the time because, like with practice players, some you have on Monday, some you don't have Tuesday, so she'll consistently be here. And she just adds just another body that we just don't have a lot of bodies. So it hurts us. Remember, I walked into the season thinking I was going to have 15, and like we've had 9 a lot. So that's a challenge.
So have TT and Dominique and Ari talk to her a little bit about, to be around the team but not be able to play.
I think they have. I haven't asked, but I'm sure they have. And she's roommates with Samaje, so they all love her. She's a great kid with great character, and she works. She likes to shoot extra, so I think that's contagious. You bring other players along, but I'm sure they've talked to her. But it's also a hard situation for her coming during the season. We're busy. We're traveling. I think that you're kind of thrown into the fire, but she's enjoying it. She loves it here, and so I'm just happy she's happy.
Did she travel with you to Oregon?
No, because she just got here. She'll take some trips, but I'm not gonna, she won't come to Washington because I don't want her to miss Wednesday, Thursday, Friday when she doesn't need to, and she's gonna play soon. But she'll go to ASU, and let's say there's another trip where she doesn't have class on a Friday or something, I'd bring her, just for the experience.
Big picture, how do you feel your team is now? Did you expect them to be this good in year 2?
Yeah, well, so it's year 3 now, but year 2, I'm trying to forget that, so don't even say 2 to me because I'm gonna act like I don't know what you're talking about. So year 3, I knew that year 1 was hard, but I had seniors. So year 2, everybody told me it was gonna be harder than year 1. I didn't really believe them. Then organizational things and different people left, whatever stuff happened. So that was probably one of the hardest years of my life, just because I had never lost so much. And it was hard because we didn't have a chance in a lot of games. That was hard. I think mentally it's just long. Year 3, I knew we'd be better just because year 2, 3 players were practicing with us every day that we're going to be able to play. So I was optimistic because I was like, oh, I can't wait till they play, because sometimes they would kill our team in practice. So I was optimistic, but I didn't know where we'd be at. I knew we were going to have a favorable non-conference just because how it was set up, and that's what I wanted. That was calculated. So my thing was to get confidence, learn how to win those things. Now, I didn't think we would, get killed by 3 teams in a row, but I also looked, and that was a very challenging stretch. So for me to sit and say, okay, after that hardest stretch, we're 3 and 4, I'm very happy. Can we do more? Yes. And I think we have good opportunities. We control our own destiny. And, it'll be huge if we can get, a sweep this weekend would be huge, because then we have great chance with confidence and feeling good at Washington, because it's really deflating, losing 3 tough games in a row. But I don't think we're defeated. I thought at times in those games we were, but I used it more as a learning lesson, we're not there yet. And these are the reasons why. And these are the mistakes we make that they don't make. And every time you make these mistakes, that you pay. And you go under a screen, it's a 3. Against teams that aren't as good, that doesn't happen. And that didn't happen in the non-conference. But our conference is so good, top to bottom. Even the 12th ranked team is a good team. So I think that us learning what it takes to be the best, you have to play against the best, and we get that in the Pac-12, and that sometimes means getting killed. And that's going to help us for next year, because they're going to remember what that felt like. It was embarrassing. Being up to 0-20 is hard as a player. It's like the game was done. So I think we learn from those things, and as we get better and add more pieces, I think we'll have a chance to be the best, because we're playing against the best, and that's what this league brings.
How did playing here help you envision to what type of program you did want to build here?
So playing here, we were a top program, but it took time. So my first year we weren't good. I remember we went to Tennessee, Vanderbilt, we got killed. I remember thinking this is a different world back here. And, like Tennessee, the fans are like, get back on your bus, it's still waiting. I remember that, and I remember what that felt like. And that was one of the best teams in the country at the time with Pat Summitt. So that was kind of a taste of what it was like. And as we evolved and got better, then it was making the NIT, then it was winning the NIT, then it was making the tournament. So all those little successes made you hungry for more. So my job is, I think we have a really good chance to be successful. We have a chance to make the postseason. And so what that looks like, whether that's NIT or it's tournament, we have an opportunity to, because we control our own destiny if we play well and get the job done. And then you just set the bar higher, because I think players want to play in the tournament. Good players do, players like Ari and Dominique and, Kate. That's why she's here. So I think it gets them hungry. And, we just played against Stanford. They're now ranked number 3. I think they were last week. I don't know this week. And then, Oregon's 5, 10. So those are the top teams. They have chances to go to the Final Four. So that's what we want to be. And I think playing against them, seeing what it's like, it makes you just want it more. So it's good. So experiencing that as a player and seeing the evolution of that and the development of that helps me as a coach building this program.
What are some of the core values you've instilled into this program?
Culture is everything. Family, trust, and passion is our thing. We're a family. And that's on and off the court. We're just a family. Now, does a family perfect? No. Does a family get along every day? No. You fight like cats and dogs, but then you love each other. And it's you're all aligned and going after the same goal. Trust. Trust with each other, trust with our teammates, and trust with the coaches for our players. I have to trust that you're going to class every day. I don't want to chase you every day. Will I check you sometimes? Yes, I will. But I don't want to chase you. And I think the culture here, my first year, we had to do that. Now we just had our best academic semester in the school history. So that shows me culture is going where it needs to be. Passion, you need to be passionate about what you do. Every day, and whether that's being the best you can be off the court, whether that's serving the community, all those things, to me, that's everything. So culture is everything. It's not exactly where I want it to be. Now this year I'm enjoying this team. I love them because they're great kids. They're fun to coach. They do everything I ask. But we don't have that culture yet that is a championship culture, because they don't know what that looks like. They've never been there, so they don't know. So now I have to teach them, and we have to just get better players and, have little successes and win the small victories to get better. So you bring a great player that's a worker, that likes to shoot, wants to work on their game, that becomes contagious. And the example I can give is in college, I thought I worked hard. In high school, I thought I worked hard. Got to college, didn't realize I didn't work hard. In college, I thought I worked hard. Got to the pros and realized I didn't work hard. And so I think you understand and learn what that looks like, but if you don't know, you don't know. And I remember when I first started coaching college, walking out and saying, where is everybody? It's 20 minutes till, because in the pros, everybody is working. It's not just out there shooting, taking half-court shots or set shots. You are working on your game, and if you're not, something better be wrong. So that's a championship culture. I'm sure that's what UConn does. I'm sure that's what Notre Dame does. But it takes a few players that are like that, because then what happens is that if you're not doing that, it's like, she's the only one not doing that. So you don't want to be the only one not doing that. So it's a little bit of peer pressure, but then it's contagious. So that's the culture I want, and I want, and we'll get that because of the type of people I'm recruiting, and I'm not taking chances. I'm not recruiting certain people just to get a couple extra wins this year. So I recruit for the big picture and bring players in here that are made for it. It's not just a cliche. That fit what we're doing in every way, because I don't think you win long term if you don't have that. I think you win short term in some games, but I think then your culture is bad, and I don't think you win in the end.
Anybody got anything else for Coach? No. So we got questions for Sam and Tara. Tara, if you would like to pronounce your last name for it.
Yeah, so it's Manu Maliunya. Manu Maliunya.
Good luck.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about TT and ask you a few questions. So last week she went out with a concussion at the Cal game. Well, I guess it's 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And in that game, how did you guys feel when she was taken out? She was playing, and then she was taken out for that, and you were without her then.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely realized she was gone. I mean, on her defense, she just really brings the team together. She's like the sixth man coming off the bench. She just brings that energy. We really missed her in those 2 games, so it's nice to have her back now.
And so what is it, I know that you gain the energy. What else sort of does she bring to you that, I mean, it's a noticeable difference when she comes off the bench for
Yeah.
you guys.
Definitely leadership. She's an upperclassman. She's also played in a different conference, so she just has all that leadership and experience. So it's easy to like work with her and learn from her while we're on the court.
Tara, how's the transition gone going from Australia to the States?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough, but I guess like ultimately it's an asset being on campus 6 months earlier than the class of 2019. So, you know, like getting used to facilities, training with the team, getting used to the plays and everything. Yeah, it's definitely good. So, yeah, I like it so far.
How did you end up here of all places?
So my uncle actually played football here and he's in the honor roll. So, yeah, I have family around Arizona as well, but, you know, Arizona was probably the best fit for me out of all my choices.
And how did that timeline work? I mean, when the coaches got in touch with you until you made your decision, and I know you came here for an official visit and all that. So what was sort of the timeline for you of you know, recruiting process?
So I started pretty early. I started at the beginning of 2018, and then, you know, it started narrowing down my choices. And at my under-17 World Championship, that's when like I had to really like focus on my top 5. And then yeah, basically after that, which was around August maybe, I just had to make a decision. So yeah, it was Arizona.
And who were your top 5?
My top 5 were Xavier, Arizona, Long Beach, Cincinnati, and what was it? Yeah, just them, and there was Syracuse and Buffalo as well. But yeah, I mainly had 4 that I was focusing on, not really 5.
And so, you know, I know that the coaches, I'm under the impression that they were calling you a lot and emailing you and FaceTiming during this whole time.
Yeah, we'd FaceTime probably at least like 4 times a week. But you know, like, because the time difference is crazy, so we had to really like manage it and yeah, organize things, but it was good, yeah.
And what was it about this program? I know that you said you have the connection, but really why U of A?
You know, the relationships that I built with the coaches was second to none. So, and when I came on my official visits, the team, like the girls are great. The university itself was a great fit for me. Like, it's safe. I know Arizona's safe compared to a lot of other states in America. But yeah, just like being a part of something that's going to be big, like you can already see like where this program's already going. So yeah, being a part of this is definitely an honor and a privilege. So yeah.
So what's your goal for this season? I know obviously you can't play, so what are you trying to accomplish?
Just get better, get repetition, put in some work, get used to playing with the team, learn how each of the girls play, and yeah, that's about it.
More of like a combo guard or like a 2-3?
Yes, I've always played 1 to 3, but mainly like shooting guard. But yeah.
Shooting your #1
Yeah.
asset.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And what was the craziest thing that somebody did during your recruiting process?
I don't know, they didn't really do that many crazy stuff, but
Anything funny or anything that stands out?
they'd always try and like, on my visits, they'd always try and get other Australians that are in other teams to like come on like lunches, breakfasts, dinners with me, try and like persuade me, but yeah, that was probably the craziest thing. Can't really think of anything.
What's been the biggest change from Australia to Arizona?
I mean, the weather's kind of the same, so that hasn't really like been that different, but probably like the independence, I guess, like, you know, being young and having to do everything on my own now, it's crazy, but yeah, that's probably the biggest difference.
How do the practices compare, Coach Barnes' practice, to what you were used to back home?
I've always trained with like my women's senior team at home, so like training with older girls, it's always been a thing for me, but it's definitely like it's next level, like that. It's just crazy. They're always going 100, always trying to get better, but yeah, I like it. It's good.
How stressful was recruiting for you?
I think the most stressful thing was trying to FaceTime people, I guess, because time difference was crazy. Like, I'd have to wake up at like 4 a.m. sometimes just to call. But, you know, I love the experience. Getting recruited was definitely a privilege and an honor. So, yeah, I'm lucky.
What is the time difference? It's like 12 hours.
It's 15 hours. So right now it's
Ahead, right?
yeah, they're ahead. Yeah, it'd be 5 a.m. over there around 6.
Sam, how is her addition just in practice and the livelihood that changed things?
It's great. She brings a ton of energy. She's on the practice team just because, you know, she's coming in. She's making us better every day. We love hearing her accent in practice when she talks on defense. It's just a great time.
Sam, what did you make of the way Kate played in Oregon? Obviously, that was a tough road trip for you guys, but she had 2 really good games.
Yeah, we're really proud of her as a team. Definitely stepping up against some ranked teams, so we're glad she could score those points and prove that she's going to help us this year.
Sam, what do you think has been the biggest difference between last season and this season?
I think we have obviously many transfers that couldn't play last year, so now when they're playing, it brings in a lot of experience. They played in different leagues or against different teams, so they just are able to teach everyone else, and we're really coming together as a team now and like learning strengths and weaknesses. We have a lot more strengths now, so it's just helpful.
How have you changed from last season? Last season you were like the main player. Now you have more help around you this time around.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Now I have Area as my point guard, Kate and Dominique as the bigs, TT's defensive stopper. It's just great all around. Lucia can shoot the ball. It's just nice to have those factors now so I can focus on like little things in the game that I need to do to get better.
And going back to your recruiting, what did your uncle tell you to expect? Did he give you a little bit of advice about going to Arizona, or did he sort of push you to?
No, he didn't really push me. He, you know, just led me in my own direction. You know, persuaded me that it's my own choice. But my brother was probably the focal point in like my decision. He did, because he played college as well, so he knew the process, knew what it took, and yeah, he prepared me for it, so it was right.
And what's his name?
Jalen Manu Malunga, yeah. L-E-N, yeah.
What's the appeal of coming to the United States and playing college sports?
Oh, it's just been a dream of mine ever since I was little. Like growing up, seeing my brother play, and you know, like, because I've been to America, played a couple of basketball tournaments, so coming over here, like the culture and the vibe is crazy, and I just loved it. So yeah.
What about like because I know in a lot of countries they don't have school and sports, it's a mix. So how is that different?
Yeah, I know. Like America really emphasizes on their college sports, so you know, getting the chance and like to be here and play for Arizona, one of the biggest colleges in America, is definitely a privilege. So yeah.
Are you going to continue to play international ball like Lucia does in the off season? You know, maybe on your Olympic team.
Yeah, when I get the chance, I'll definitely go back and represent New Zealand when I can.
And I know that I read that your dad is from New Zealand, and that's
Yep.
how you get to play for that team. So sort of where do you consider yourself? You're Australian, you're New Zealand, you're Polynesian. You've got
Yeah.
a mix. What do you typically think?
Yeah, like by heart, I'm definitely an Aussie, like born and raised. Grew up in Queensland, born in Sydney. But, you know, like half of my ethnicity is New Zealander, Kiwi. So, yeah, Aussie, New Zealand. Can't really tell you which one I am, but yeah.
Anybody have anything else? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
What was the key for you in Oregon? You had 2 really good games. Those were the best 2 that you've had in Pac-12 play so far.
I just felt like when we were shooting and shoot around and right before the game, like my shot was on, and you know, we've been moving the ball a little bit better now. Coach D has been emphasizing ball movement, driving kick, so I mean, I just got the open shots that I was looking for. So
How much of a confidence boost is that, knowing like what teams you did that against? And those aren't bad teams, obviously.
I mean, I just felt like I hadn't been playing like myself, as like you said, like in Pac-12. And it just feels good, you know. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get the wins, but, you know, I thought that I kind of have become more comfortable playing in Pac-12 and just, like, you know, against players that are really good. And so I just think that it has boosted my confidence a little coming into our home games this weekend.
Do you think that it's just getting that experience of playing? You have quite a few Pac-12 games under your belt, that it sort of just maybe opened up your game a little bit more, so you sort of knew a little bit what to expect, even though that you're still facing some of the best players in the country? It seemed like in those against Oregon, you really just, those were really great. Second half of Utah, you really seemed to sort of exert yourself a little bit more, your dominance.
I think I just have been playing a little more aggressive, especially on offense. I hadn't really been scoring as much, being an asset to the team on the offensive end. I think my defensive end was, I think it's pretty much, the same. Like, I'm doing the same things. I just need to box out a little bit better. But I think that I just have become more aggressive on offense. Coach Adia has been saying we need to have our post be able to, do stuff on offense too. So I just tried to step up for the team. So.
Being undersized a little bit at your position, what have you taken away from playing against players like Ruthie in a big way and the other bigs in the conference?
I think the most important thing, being undersized, I mean, I'm the same height most of the time around them, as Ruthie, but just trying to make sure as best I can that they don't get the ball at all. Because when I go one-on-one, I struggle a little bit on that, especially like down low, because they can just body into me. But I think the most important thing is like being in position and making sure they don't get the ball, and then when they get the ball, like to make sure you jump back so you have space to be able to guard them.
And is there something that you're doing either in practice or the extra time I know that you put in that it sort of has clicked maybe and has helped you?
I mean, every day or before every game, my dad always texts me and he tells me what I need to do for the game. And I think that like what he's been saying has, helped me in the game to know like what to do. He always just tells me to rebound offensively, rebound defensively, and just, try to run the floor as best I can to get open shots. So I just think I've been doing that. In the past 2 games, I've been able to drive full court and get layups, and so that's been working. I haven't done that in the Pac-12 yet, so until now. So, I mean, I think that that's helping me. And just, I guess, all of us being patient on offense more and not taking shots that, like we'd have to run back down and transition defense that maybe we could have gone 10 seconds later. So I just think that overall as a team, we've been moving the ball really well, which helps everyone get open shots.
The McDonald's All-American rosters were announced today. What do you remember last year when you were selected to that?
Yeah, I remember it was exciting. Like, I think that's a great experience for everyone that gets to do it. I mean, I would never trade it for anything. Like, it helps you to realize, that like high school and college is a huge transition. Like, you're playing against like the best people in the nation in McDonald's, and that definitely helps you to prepare. The coaches are good. They're really hard on you, but it's fun. And so I was excited. I'm excited for everyone that else got picked this year. I know some of the people, so it's exciting.
When TT went down in the Cal game, like, what are you guys thinking? Like, because she brings so much to your team.
I mean, when we realized that she wasn't going to be able to come back in the game, we looked at each other like, we're going to have to step up, we're going to have to lock down on defense, because TT brings amazing defense to when she comes in. And so I just think we had to step up. We had to be as aggressive as she is, get stops defensively, and especially in the Cal game, we did that. I think we need to do better. Something with our Sunday games, we just aren't there all the way. So I just think that we need to work on that. But, I mean, we're glad to have her back. And so when she came in the Oregon game, I was happy. So
against Oregon State, I mean, it was still questionable whether she would play, how she felt. And I know that you guys probably didn't know yet, probably right up until then, if she was going to play. Did that impact you? Like, did you think, oh, so she's going to play and we're going to have her, and then all of a sudden you don't have her and you're like, oh, now we got to do what TT does because she's not in there?
I mean, I just think that we weren't really expecting her to come or not to come. We just thought, like, this is just like any other game. I mean, they were ranked in the top 10. They're a great team. But, like, every game, you know, any given game, you could come out and win. Even if we don't have a player out there, we just have to play harder. We have to do what she would do, you know. So, I mean, it was a rough game. We kind of started out slow, but then we got back into it. We just unfortunately let it go at the end. They could hit threes really well, and we've been struggling with that. With our shooting, sometimes our threes haven't been great lately, but I think we'll get back into it, and I think that with TT back, she's a lot of help to the team.
What do you see as the importance of this homestand? It's the first time in several weeks that you're not playing a ranked team. I mean, how do you think just the importance of it, I guess?
I just think that we shouldn't underestimate them because, you know, they aren't ranked. We need to be ready like any other game, and we just have to come out from the start and get ahead early. I just think we have to run the floor, and we have to make sure we box out because everyone on their team can. And I think we're prepared for it. I mean, we haven't really taken any other team for granted, really. So I think that we're ready for the competition this weekend.
What were some of the factors that drew you into coming to Arizona?
Whenever I first talked to Coach Adia, she recruited me my junior year, and you know, Arizona hadn't really had a lot of success recently whenever she was recruiting me, and I just wanted to come to a school where I could be an impact player and not really like a role player at some other schools that have had success, and like they know exactly what they need for the team. If you need to be a defensive player, offense player, here I thought I could do everything here and help out the team and be a part of the team that set the foundation for success in the future. And so that made me want to come here, and also the fact that my sister is here as well. She's a sophomore, and I really wanted to be with her. We're really close, so that was two of my main factors to coming here.
What's been the biggest transition? What has been the hardest part about the transitioning from high school to college?
I think it would be like the amount of practice that we do, and then having to balance everything else like schoolwork, free time, sleep. I think that's a big part. Sometimes I like to procrastinate, so then it's like, well, now it's like the last day before something's due, and it's like you don't have a lot of time. But I mean, I've gotten better at that since I've been here. I also just think that, you know, having time to put in extra work while like you have tutoring, study hall, and stuff like that, and classes. So I think that that's kind of been the biggest transition, and I guess is just like scheduling out everything for the week. But I think I've gotten better at since I've been here, and Allie has helped me a lot. So.
And has the game and practice and games, have they really been, did you expect this from this season from playing at a Division I school, Pac-12? Did you expect this level of competition, just everything? Or was everything kind of like, did you sort of like, with the balancing of the school and the schoolwork, and was that difficult?
Practice can be intense sometimes. I don't think I was expecting it to be this intense, but I mean, it's definitely made me a better player, a better person. Coach Adia, she doesn't just like coach us, but she also like gives us life lessons too, which helps a lot. And I mean, other than that, I think Allie kind of prepared me a little bit for like what was to come. But I mean, until you experience it yourself, you never really know. So when I came, it was kind of shocking, but after that, I've gotten used to it now. So.
You need one more? I'm going to try to make one more person. We got 5 minutes. Thank you, Caitlin.
So, TT, can you walk through what happened to you during the Cal game? I mean, we all saw it, but what was it like to experience that?
Well, I just remember I went up for a layup. I missed it, and then I went up to grab my rebound, and one of the bigger girls from Cal, she knocked me over. I hit my head. That's all. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I hit my head pretty hard, but thanks to my braids, it wasn't too bad.
So it didn't hurt that much?
No, it did, but I honestly think my hairdo like braced some of the contact for real. Yeah, so.
Did you have headaches? Was that what? Because we were told that you had a concussion. Is that correct? Or
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
Yeah, I did have headaches for a couple days. A little bit of sensitivity to noise, to light, and kind of just big bangs like the whistles, the band, stuff like that. But after a couple days, it was fine.
Yeah, I remember seeing you on the bench after the Cal game, after it happened, in the second half, I think, and you were sitting like
Yeah.
with I think you're covering your ears or something. So
Yeah, the noise was getting to me just a little bit. Yeah, but it wasn't too bad.
And then you almost came back for Oregon State, but you just weren't feeling it.
It was more of a ahead of me decision, just to be on the safe side, make sure all the symptoms have gone away completely, and make sure I'm feeling as 100% myself as I can be. So that was more of a ahead of me decision, but I think it was a good decision as well. So.
Is this your first concussion?
No.
I know that you've reclassified as a senior, and so we only get to watch you play for 1 year here. And they said it was because you've had injuries. I know last year you had surgery on your hip, and is this just another thing to add to that? I mean, what sort of? I know it must have been a tough decision for you.
Yes, it was definitely a tough decision because a lot of people who are playing collegiately, it's been their life for a long time. So I've been playing basketball since I was like 2nd grade. So, the day when you have to hang up your shoes, nobody wants it to come. But I've kind of made my peace with it, honestly. I've kind of just, taken this last season to just, have fun with it. You don't get this time back. You don't get, these moments back. So just make the most of it. It's kind of how I've gone into it, I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with, the things that we're doing as a team. Nobody likes losing, but I think we got a couple more wins under our belt. So.
And sort of, is that why you approach every game you approach, and why you bring so much energy to the court, or was that always? I mean, you're TT and you do bring energy. Even last year we saw it in practice.
I just kind of feel like everybody has a reason why they're playing, and I definitely have, my inner motivations of why I'm playing basketball right now, and I just kind of use that as, I'm playing for, not only myself, my family, my friends, things like that. So I just kind of take that and bring it every day, and some of them aren't here with me anymore, so I can play for them. I can bring energy for them, and I can just do everything that they can't right now.
You have time for about 1 or 2 more.
And you become the defensive specialist, and when you were out, they really missed you, and you could sort of see a little bit of, if people couldn't see before what you bring, they definitely could see when you weren't there. Talk about a little bit, can you tell me, explain a little bit about that defensive intensity that you bring to the game?
I just think it's like a mentality kind of thing. I'm very much a competitor. I don't like to lose. I don't like, if somebody scores on me, I definitely have that mentality that I don't want you to score on me again. I just think it's a mentality that some people have and some people don't. But I think when you have people with that mentality, you can rally people to play hard on defense, even if defense isn't their strong suit, they can play hard, they can do the things that gets the job done. So I think it's a mentality type thing.
I got it.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.